On a crisp winter morning in 1997, Marian Barter, a devoted mother, respected teacher, and vibrant woman with dreams of reinvention, vanished without a trace. What began as a simple overseas holiday soon unraveled into one of Australia's most enduring mysteries, a cold case that still grips investigators, journalists, and her family nearly 3 decades later. Behind her disappearance lies a tangled web of false identities, suspicious financial movements, and haunting, unanswered questions. This is the story of Marian Barter, the woman who stepped onto a plane in search of a new beginning, but never truly came home. Marian Barter was born in 1945, and by all accounts, she lived an ordinary yet fulfilling life. A passionate teacher, she had dedicated herself to education, while also raising her children in the quiet suburbs of New South Wales. Friends remembered her as warm, intelligent, and generous, though behind the smiles, Marian longed for something more. At 51 years old, she had recently divorced and was looking for adventure. Her decision to leave Australia for Europe was framed as a chance to rediscover herself, to take the kind of journey that marked the beginning of a new chapter rather than the end of one. She told loved ones she was only going for a few months. But in truth, Marian's story was about to veer into a shadowy path few could have imagined. In June 1997, Marian quietly sold her home, collected her savings, and booked a one-way ticket to the United Kingdom. Before she departed, she confided in friends that she hoped to travel, perhaps even to remarry, though she never gave clear details about her plans. What seemed at first like a bold but harmless adventure soon raised alarm bells. Just weeks after she left, her daughter Sally noticed something strange. Marian had stopped contacting her. Phone calls ceased, letters never arrived, and when Sally's birthday passed without so much as a message, dread began to set in. Her mother's absence was deeply out of character. Sally's intuition told her something was very wrong. Then came the financial irregularities. Bank records revealed that after Marian's departure, nearly $80,000 was withdrawn from her accounts in small increments across several months. Each transaction was conducted in person from locations across Australia, suggesting Marian had returned quietly, without informing anyone. Yet not a single confirmed sighting placed her in the country. Even more disturbingly, official records showed that Marian had changed her name by deed poll before leaving, adopting the surname Remakel, a name linked to a man from Luxembourg with a mysterious past. This connection, and the secrecy around it, sent investigators and her family spiraling into more questions than answers. The investigation into Marian's disappearance was slow, riddled with errors and bureaucratic indifference. For years, police treated her case as voluntary disappearance, dismissing Sally's desperate pleas for help. It wasn't until journalists began to dig deeper that the darker threads emerged. Who was this Remakel man? Why had Marian suddenly decided to alter her entire identity before leaving? And how could such large cash withdrawals go unnoticed by authorities? To Marian's family, it felt as though she had been deliberately erased, her life swallowed by a shadowy figure who controlled the narrative. For years, the system failed to connect the dots, leaving Sally to shoulder the burden of searching for her mother almost entirely on her own. 2 decades later, renewed interest in the case, sparked by investigative podcasts and media coverage, finally pushed authorities to revisit Marian's file. Witnesses came forward, and a clearer picture began to form. It appeared Marian had indeed been involved with the man linked to the Remakel name, a man suspected of conning women, manipulating them emotionally and financially. The possibility that Marian had fallen victim to a predator, rather than simply walking away from her life, suddenly seemed undeniable. Still, no definitive evidence surfaced, no body, no crime scene, no closure. Just a trail of deceit and a woman lost in the cracks of time. For Marian's children, the pain is relentless. Sally, now an adult, has devoted much of her life to finding out what happened to her mother. She describes her as a loving, doting parent whose sudden silence could never have been voluntary. Each new lead brings both hope and heartbreak. Each unanswered call from authorities deepens the wound. The financial mystery, the name change, and the secretive ties to a man with a dark reputation all hang over the case like storm clouds. And yet, despite decades of searching, the truth remains elusive. Today, Marian Barter's story endures not just as a mystery, but as a haunting reminder of how easily people, especially women, can vanish when systems fail them. Her disappearance exposes cracks in investigative processes, highlights the dangers of manipulative relationships, and underscores the profound grief families endure in the absence of answers. Somewhere, someone knows the truth. Whether Marian was silenced by foul play, coerced into vanishing, or met another tragic fate, her story is not over. And as long as her children, journalists, and cold case detectives continue to fight for justice, the question will linger. What really happened to Marian Barter? If you found Marian Barter's story as haunting as we did, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe she chose to disappear? Or was she taken? Don't forget to like this video, share it with others who follow cold cases, and subscribe so you don't miss the next story we uncover. Together, we can keep Marian's name and the search for the truth alive.